Animals rarely ask people for help, but sometimes they can't do without it. And today's episode is all about that. This is wildlife, and in this episode you'll see moments when animals, despite their fear, had to ask humans for help. Let's go. Turtle and rope. A group of divers was on their way back from a boat trip when they happened to come across a poor turtle. It was poor because the creature had accidentally fallen into a trap. Its leg got tangled in the ropes, and that made it very difficult for the turtle to swim. It's not known if it would have been able to get out of this trouble on its own, but that's why there are people that at the right moment they can come to the rescue and fix the situation. The divers dived, released the turtle quickly, and got a couple or 3 beautiful shots of it as a reward. Tangled stingray. An entangled stingray is one of the most unpleasant things that can happen to this underwater creature. The fact is that it doesn't stand out at all in terms of agility and is unlikely to ever be able to get out of such a trap on its own. Because of it, even a school of small fish wanted to help the big creature, but they couldn't. Fortunately, a kind diver was nearby. The stingray spotted the man and, completely unafraid of him, swam closer, gestured about the problem, and tacitly asked for help. The diver kindly agreed to help it. Good karma for him. Give me something to drink. The Grand Canyon is one of the oldest national parks in the United States. The canyon is located in the state of Arizona. Before the first Europeans arrived here in 1540, the canyon was inhabited by the Pueblo peoples, and today it's full of squirrels. Unfortunately, these little furry creatures are incredibly thirsty. The only thing that saves them is the tourists, who kindly agree to give them something to drink. Doesn't that look cute? Huh? I think it's very nice. Help from an ordinary villager was given in Thailand. It was a very young calf that happened to be inside a canal that people had dug out. Water is supposed to flow there during the rains, but it was this poor animal that ended up there. Because of its tiny feet and very unstable hooves, the calf couldn't get out on its own. The mother couldn't help it either. No matter how you look at it, it didn't have an extra limb. There was only hope for a miracle, and it happened to them. A local man noticed them and came to help. The man quickly got the calf out there and went home with a sense of accomplishment, like Spider-Man after a completed mission. By the way, did you see how hard it was for the adult cow to get out? I think everyone understood by now that the calf had no chance at all to get out of there on its own. In general, it seems to be some kind of unspoken rule among animals. Everywhere that it's potentially dangerous, there's something interesting and attractive. So this rabbit decided to crawl into a very narrow, small hole in the fence. It was probably running along this path every day, stealing food somewhere on human territory and hiding in the woods. One day the rabbit was in such a hurry to get home that it decided to take a shortcut and got trapped. It got stuck in the fence and would never get out of there if it weren't for the help of a man. The man armed himself with pliers and reluctantly cut his own fence. The things we do for animals. The next story took place in Zimbabwe. The elephant went out into the street directly to the people it usually tries not to cross paths with and asked for help. The poor animal was shot by poachers. You'd think they missed since the elephant was on its feet, but no, they hit the animal right in the head and also shot it with a tranquilizer. If the latter had almost no effect on the giant, then the bullet remained directly in its skull and didn't let it leave in peace. With gestures, the elephant made it clear to the local people that it was in great pain. Vets soon arrived. The operation was decided to be carried out right on the spot, and fortunately, it was completely successful. The bullet was removed and the wound was treated. Rescuing a fawn. And this story happened to a very ordinary American family traveling on the water in their own mini-boat. People were already planning to return home and were approaching the shore, but then their silence and idle were disturbed by a cute squeak. Although the word disturbed even sounds kind of insulting and disrespectful. This little cutie asked people for help because it accidentally fell right into the water. Its mother, of course, couldn't help it, and it itself was not able to climb up such a large ledge. People approached the shore and moved the fawn back to dry land, where it quickly found its parent. I think that's the cutest video I've seen so far. Cows in trouble. Somewhere near a farm, in a place where it would seem animals cannot be left unattended, cows were in trouble. Because of its excessive curiosity, a calf tried to get through an electric fence and got trapped. The moment its body was halfway through the wires, it realized that it could no longer move forward or backward. It had 2 choices, either wait for the farm owner or ask for help from passersby. Its mother decided not to hesitate. It immediately resorted to the second option, and it was right. Ow! Usually, owls don't ask humans for help. Rather, the opposite. They try to avoid them and have as little contact as possible. The animal in this video was no exception. The owl accidentally fell into the net on the pitch where people were having fun. There was no way it could get out of there, and that's exactly what I call a jackpot, only in a negative sense. The bird was trapped right next to the people it dislikes. Can you imagine how bad its luck was? But truth be told, it's worth noting that Mother Nature quickly fixed the situation and repaid the owl with a dose of luck. A kind and brave man came to its rescue. With a handy mini knife, it pulled the owl out of the trap and let it go free. It's surprising how shocked the bird was by this. Judging by its look, it couldn't believe what was happening until the last moment. Taxi for penguins. It turns out that in the animal world, it's also customary to use a taxi when it comes to traveling long distances. You don't believe me? Well, take a look at this video. This little penguin lagged behind its family and didn't know what to do. Fortunately, it's smart, so it quickly found a solution to this problem. The penguin called a taxi. Plus, it used some kind of promo code and got the best seat on the boat. People kindly agreed to give the little guy a ride to the ice floe where its family was. We can only hope that the penguin will give 5 stars for the trip. The sea lion is a very cute seal that lives in the water. These creatures are by no means bad predators, which makes their existence quite simple and, at the same time, pleasant. However, sometimes they can get into some trouble. It's not clear why, but the seal in this video was wounded. Maybe it was escaping from another predator, or maybe it was fighting with its congener, or maybe it was even hunted by some poacher. In any case, the main thing is that the sea lion survived and found the right people. The people who were not afraid to let it on deck and give first aid to the animal. Yes, I said let it on because the sea lion itself showed a desire to get on board. It's amazing that it wasn't afraid of people at all. In fact, they could do anything they wanted to it. It's like the prey itself came into their hands. But the animal trusted them and was rewarded for it. The people on the boat called specialists, and they soon provided the sea lion with the necessary help. What a trip to Australia the couple in the following story had. The young people were traveling through this place full of mysteries and amazing inhabitants when suddenly a koala came out to say hello to them. It might have seemed that the animal didn't want this encounter, but deep in its heart it was incredibly happy about it. The fact was that the koala was starving and needed urgent medical care. By telepathy, intuition, some gestures, I don't know, but people felt it and decided to help the poor animal in time. They put the koala in their car on a soft towel, put a branch with tasty leaves next to it, and took it to the nearest medical center where the doctors told them, "Thank you very much." If not for the kind people, the animal might have died in the next few days, but now it's okay, and it'll live happily ever after. It turns out that people help not only cute and harmless animals, but also dangerous snakes. Those very creeping creatures that strike fear into 90% of the entire population of Earth. Fortunately for the snake in this video, the man behind the camera belongs to that very 10%. He sensed that the reptile needed water and quickly brought it a glass of drink. I think the snake was pleasantly surprised by such a gift from the man. Another encounter with a snake occurred in India. This time, the creeping creature was much larger and at the same time more dangerous than the previous one. The cobra was strangely held hostage by fishing net. It wriggled so hard and so much in it that it became completely entangled and didn't know what to do. Fortunately, the local people saw it and immediately told their main snake catcher about it. The man arrived on the scene, calmly, took the snake with the net away from the woods, gave it some water, released it, and then placed it in a large jar. Now he would take the cobra back to its native environment and set it free. No more killing thirst in net. All are saved. That's all, guys. Which moment touched you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.